It's called that guy started this morning. Started that before the episode. And so it's just science. It's right there. It's called the third suspicious person. We're going to cover this on the morning show in the morning. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update because we've been talking about, specifically on the morning show, Eric Adams, everybody in his inner circle, all of his top aides, New York City chancellor, school chancellor, all of them are recently resigning. Everybody's devices are getting raided. FBI been kicking in doors. The only person that has not, been raided up to this point, except for right now, is New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Now, let me preface this by saying that he already had a target on his back from the New York Survivor Center. So the same act that Cassidy had filed a lawsuit from Diddy, Eric Adams had filed a lawsuit like 30 years ago, something like that. He was some part of the police force, and she accused him. But that's not related to what's going on here. When his first top aides device got raised, or their whole location, their home got raided, he came in and took all the mobile devices, all the mobile devices from everybody that was part of this administration, including Eric Adams himself. Now, Eric Adams has been maintaining a level of innocence. Hey, listen, nothing is going on here. I'm 100% positive that everything is on the up and up. But over the last month or so, everybody, all of his top aides, everybody that's part of his industry, has been resigning. Even the top lawyer that was directly next to Eric Adams over the last year and a half has resigned. So let's go ahead and go over this article really quick so I can bring you guys up to speed on what's going on in these streets. It says New York City Mayor Eric Adams is expected to face 2 charges. Facing 2 charges for the Southern District of New York as two sources familiar with the story say that Eric Adams' administration is really experiencing high-level investigations that made at least 4 goals. He repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. One of the investigations is focused on whether Adams' mayoral campaign is violating the Turkish government. Turkish government being and they're not the only entity that allegedly was part of his mayoral campaign and him doing special favors, allowing for the Turkish government to be able to build over there and making exceptions with the fire department and all of this stuff. So they're saying that multiple entities, including the Turkish government, playing a role in influencing what's going to happen in New York City as far as getting special favors in exchange for contributing to and facilitating his mayoral campaign. I also want to say received illegal campaign contributions from foreign sources. As part of that role, the FBI last year searched the home of Adams' chief fundraiser. I also want to say federal investigators have been looking into whether Adams pressured the city former fire commissioner to approve the building housing the Turkish consulate despite city schools pay for play. Adams was world president, and shortly after winning the Democratic mayoral primary in 2021, he reached out to then fire commissioner Danielle Negro. According to sources familiar with Adams encouraged Negro to evaluate the request from the Turkish government to use the building, which had not yet opened because the fire department officials refused to sign off once they give its documents. Adams' homes were seized as part of the inquiry. The FBI agents have collected as the witness twice sources from the matter previously told NBC news, and they declined to comment. Goes on to say earlier this month, federal investigators searched homes and seized phones belonging to multiple top officials close to Adams. Police Commissioner Edward Cabot, who was among those whose phones were seized, resigned on September 12th, which was less than 12, 13 days ago, as of the recording of this video. His twin brother, James, a former police officer who owns a nightclub business, also had his phone seized. Federal investigators are looking into whether James was paid by bars and clubs in Midtown Manhattan and Queens to act as a police liaison, and if those clubs were then afforded special treatment by local precincts, according to sources familiar with the matter. Of course they were. Of course they were. Why? Because it's pay-to-play society. And the thing that these people don't understand is that if you are going to operate like this, because this is the reason why it's a power thing. It's not about the salary. We always look at the salary with these officials making stuff like that. These people can be rich by the time they make office. Let's continue. Adams' administration is also facing a public corruption investigation and another federal probe that led to the search of the homes belonging to Adams' former director of Asia. I'm reporting on that on the video. There's a night that leads the city government in the dire predicament, said Douglas Musio, longtime Europe College political science professor who retired last year. Who's in charge? What is his policy direction? So many people already have resigned. City agencies are innocent in a sense, rudderless. So you have all these different people. And I just did a video today of New York Times on the morning show talking about how he had commented and said, "Hey, yeah, we'll be okay." And New York City, we're receiving. So he was talking about that, but he's known for a long time that the hammer was coming down on him. And so we ain't even got to worry about it no more. The only question is, what did they charge him? What do they have? So how deep does the rabbit hole go? Right? So that's what I'm interested in finding out. Again, voted in there based off of identity politics. Came in, let all the migrants in. Now I'm trying to figure out who's dirty and why, because if you notice, and I'll tell you, for long time, throughout this migrant crisis, when they first started dropping migrants off and it started to be advertised, and Eric Adams was over there, trying to say some things, getting off the mud, and he was selling out y'all cities. He would reach out to my administration, and he would hear no answer. Among others, he was reaching out to the Biden administration, and he was not getting an answer. So he started to complain publicly, and then he got silenced. He was quiet after a while, and then he became a part of the organization as far as the 5 names that signed that letter. They wanted additional resources, and they were celebrating yet one additional resources from the federal government to continue to assist the migrant crisis as far as them designating themselves as main hubs and sanctuary cities. So it was him, Eric Adams, who recently resigned or ousted mayor in Houston. His administration had been getting a whole lot of public inquiries, and there was a lot of stuff that was going on with the water department, water main breaks, and stuff like that. So Houston now has a new mayor, but that old mayor was a part of his signature, was also on the paperwork for becoming a sanctuary city. Eric Adams, Karen Bass over there in LA, mayor of LA, Mike Johnston, the Denver mayor, and the Chicago mayor, Brandon Johnson, Chicago mayor Brandon Johnson. Forget it, because it's breaking news. So everything that you hear me rattling off is things that just coming off the top of my head, because I am intimately familiar with this stuff, and I've been keeping up to date on everything that's been going on with all of these cities, with the migrant crisis, the federal probes, who's getting money where, and whether or not the federal government is even responding to people like Eric Adams. So Eric Adams had been publicly visible and complaining, but at the same time, he had been silenced. If you pay attention to this campaign, this Democratic National Convention, everything, it's very rare that you don't have the biggest city and the biggest mayor speaking at the Democratic National Convention, for example, Eric Adams. You've seen Brandon Johnson, but then people can say, well, Brandon Johnson was there because it was in Chicago. No, fair. Let's go over to the Republican side. Every all-star Republican was on that stage. Ron DeSantis, Governor Wheelchair down there in Texas. All of those people, right? And I think that Governor Wheelchair is the best he could quite possibly be the best governor in the United States of America right now. You had Sarah Huckabee Sanders and all these people were speaking at the Republican National Convention. You're missing the biggest, the most influential city in America that was not even invited, didn't even show up to the Democratic National Convention. And Eric Adams. That's what I knew. When Biden stopped responding to his inquiries, when they basically isolated him and they put him on an island by himself, he wasn't even invited to the party, yet he's the mayor of the biggest city in the United States of America, with over 8 million people in the financial hub of the United States. He's not invited to the Democratic National Convention? Come on, man. You know Eric Adams is in hot water as a result. So, when I seen that raid and I started to see all the pieces fall and everything around him, his entire administration, it was literally like, swooping down on him on the inside, from the outside. And he even Kentucky and his devices had been confiscated. And then I started to hear about the, Turkish people and the Turkish consulate and all of that stuff, and favors, and different people that were getting paid for play and stuff like that, allegedly. I knew it was only a matter of time. It was just preparing themselves. But we're sitting Paul, all your leaders, all the people that y'all elected, that basically led y'all into the mire, and it's not doing the thing that's in the best interest of the people, but doing it for the best interest of themselves. So, with that being said, we will be covering this on the morning show. Make sure y'all tap into Patreon, links in the description. Also, TJ Henley, 40% off the first order plus 20% off of life. Shout out to TJ Henley. And then come and kick it with me in Atlanta on November 2nd before the election. We got a live show. Let's rant about it. And then on top of that, we're going to be over in Detroit on December 14th. And then I'm going to do a Patreon meeting one of those days, around those dates, to make sure that I add value into your lives. You're hearing from me first, Anton Daniels. Again, tune into the Brilliant Morning Show. We're going to have live coverage of it every morning. Let me give y'all more details as they come out. most intense, incredible, focused artists I've ever seen. It's a 14 sheet. It wasn't even fun. It was fun. It was serious art conversation about the music and what it's going to be. I always would say, like, the general basis is an artist is a brand. A brand is a promise. What's your promise? And they knew their promise. Consistency. Keep what they're doing with the art. This is over. Now, first of all, they have to want it more than you. They're the CEO of themselves. They have a vision. They're not puppets. And they have a work ethic like you've never seen. Taylor Swift is the most intense, incredible, focused artist I've ever seen in the world. And that Beyonce at 14, it wasn't like fun. You don't have fun with the artist. It was serious art conversation about the music and what it's going to be and what the brand's going to be. And I always would say, like, the general thesis is an artist is a brand. A brand is a promise. What's your promise? And they knew their promise. Consistency. How they were going to repeat what they're doing with their art to the masses over and over and over again to create the ground swell. The talent that ended up making them, be arena acts. Consistency is critical and great art, right? It's evil and great. Do you want to see a good artist play? Go see a great artist play. The biggest stars in the world took years and years of getting it right and making mistakes. So I'm in that game. Like, I want to be in the long term. I call it the stadium game. How do you get in the stadium? That's how you make money, right? You ever just playing clubs that has no hits? I can't perform, it has no fans. So the game today is band and fans. And fans will hire you or fire you. It has nothing to do with labels. It's nothing to do with anyone else. It's the fans. The fans will keep you going. They'll fire you if you suck. So you got to think about that. That's the narrow mentality in which I play in today. I think it works. I think it makes sense. What's the all the time. I think you're gonna say it. Say it, it's an opinion. First one that came to mind was the spicy, like, not even the farm. Oh, why you not jacking it? This don't sound good to me, son. Nah, feminist people too big at fart. I see it. Hey, listen what I'm trying to say. You think that I cannot do this? It's like this. Claps. Clap it in. It's a dance. It's a dance. Did you feel protective of her?
Yeah, I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on me in a second. So, yeah, it's hard because I want her to know that, she can count on me, but at the end of the day, I don't want to force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So I just kind of, let her do her thing, and if she ever needs me, I'm going to be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters and yeah, so yeah, force myself to.
Did he do it, right?
Yes.
You've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. I don't know who was vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a a long time now, and then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy.
But I also did participate. I also did go to parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you understand it because they participated.
But what? So was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what's going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky shit. Like all of the stuff that he's talking, I'm not into that kind of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal.
There was a window of about 12 to 18 months where if you put impact in any of your investment materials, you could raise $100 million. That lasted for about 12 months. I was talking to someone yesterday who sits on the board of 3 of the most important endowments in the country. If you come to the committee now with the words ESG, impact, or DEI, it's an automatic no for all 4 or 5 of the investment committees that she sits on. The moment of investment, of active leaning forward in these areas has passed. And if we're not realistic about that, then we will not raise any money and capital to continue to do the things that we believe in. There was a window.
I just wanna let motherfuckers know one good shit, right? I don't give a fuck if a nigga talking about, oh, I'm gonna expose you, or I'm gonna put them text messages that's over your phone. I don't give a fuck, nigga. I will expose my own teeth. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. Who that? I don't care. You should be happy. You know what you should be? You know what you should be happy? You should be happy that I'm a real gangster ass bitch. At the end of the day, I'm a real gangster ass bitch. I'm not a bitch. So one thing I'm not gonna do is ever listen to any of your homies that be in my DM trying to suck my pussy. I will never do that because the op to you is a nigga that wants you dead. And I don't do that because my kids love the fuck out of you. My kids love you down. So I will never do that. And I really follow gangster. I really follow street codes. I will never be a lame ass bitch that fuck with a nigga op just to get back. No, nigga, I don't have to do that shit. I just gotta fuck a nigga that's better than you. However, I don't give a fuck. Expose whatever the fuck you wanna do, nigga. I expose it myself. Look out of here. I told you when the Libra start Libraing, we really don't give a fuck. Now, goodbye.
You want to make thinking about investing in budget? All you need is one. These are the top 5 core exercises.
top 5 core exercises you Well, wait, man. I don't give it wrong. I don't give it gay. I don't give it stupid. I don't give it gay. I don't give it straight. Nobody is up on the fact that nobody's defending you. You're right. You're right. Okay. Nobody's defending you. That's why I was interested in hearing the aspect. Okay. Let's not look at it. Now let me bring up time to show. Ain't no I said, okay. You have a guy named Cook. It's one thing to know. This guy's job was to bring Sunday girls and have sex with employees in other offices. The point where he's red. You're calling the same thing when they're crazy. All the opposition. They're ready to bring it up. You have a guy named Cook. It's one thing to know. This guy's job was to bring Sunday girls and have sex with employees in other offices. The point where he's red. They're calling the same thing when they're ready. All the opposition. They're ready to bring it up. You have a guy named Cook. It's one thing to know. Number one, I've been knowing a long time. The world where you not get any free. You know, nothing. So he's smart enough to work in business. On top of that, this man right here, he gets involved because the FBI wants to destroy him. And he got problem with people. Well, this president who started this country with Trump, President Obama, got him out of prison. So it's not like he's no NFL rule. But I don't think nobody's going to kill him out. I don't think he's going to let it on. It's close to court and die. He's probably going through a lot of shit right now. He's probably going through a lot of withdrawals with drugs. But the industry, there ain't no drugs. Number one, I've been knowing him a long time. If we was friends, we had seen this. Up here, we're in the jail with the executive bird. Somebody can do something to him and they stuff. You know, they just do. Or they can do whatever they do, they can do their stuff. But we also gotta learn. We gotta learn from our mistakes. Everything don't have to be a mistake, you gotta better yourself. But we all know what we're trying to be. Up here, we're in the jail with the executive bird. Somebody can do something to him and they stuff. You know, they can do. Or they can do whatever they do, they can do themselves. But we also gotta learn. We gotta learn about mistakes. Everything don't have to be a mistake. You gotta do it. But we all know what we should be.
I don't know what it is, but there's something about me that I think people are willing to take a chance on.
What's up, guys? I am Nyla Simone, and I'm here with my girl Beta, and we're here with our genius family and our partners, State Cognac, in this beautiful home in Brooklyn to create some brunch cocktails.
I've had a lot of shows when Duce was like the drink of choice, and it's my pre-show like.
You know, you can't skip on the Duce.
I like the little thing. Beautiful. So big.
Cheers. Duce lemonade spritz.
That is good. Right, started.
When you are a powerful person, how you treat other people is who you really are. Because I've seen people not have power and treat people a certain way. They get power and they treat people a completely different way. Now, they're the same person. They might even be working the same job. But when this power dynamic shifts, they now feel more comfortable to be a little more abusive, to take advantage of situations a little bit more, to not look out for people the way that they had to look out for them when they didn't have power. When I meet a powerful person and they remember the name of someone who walks them who doesn't have any power, or how they treat people, everyone else kind of overlooks. How intentional are they with their words? How do they move when no one's watching? Meaning, do they stand on their word? Do they stand on business? Does this deal actually benefit a lot more people than it doesn't benefit? Do they make the right human decision? Do they care about any of that at all? Because I can tell you, the closer you get to power, the further away you get from the actual human consequences of your decisions. I just think power really shows the true insides of a person, because when you can make decisions and not be held accountable, what decisions do you make? What,
I'm gonna have somebody to bring me my phone because I need you to cut the bitch out.
Come on, let's light this motherfucker up.
What else you bitch, that ugly ass, ugly, fucking ugly ass, freaking that bitch? Fuck you, bitch. Go gobble with some motherfucking Clorox too. You dumb mouth ass bitch. Big gum, jelly teeth, ugly, fucking big nose, hairy nose ass bitch. Fuck you, you shrimp dick bitch.
Okay, that's you ready for the smoke?
Ever seen these straight clips in sales?
Trying to find niggas. I've been cuffed up too long. Have you
My friend,
I can tell you that the people on what's not the biggest city in this country that doesn't work. We see that we got 2 million people in the prison system in this country, over 40% are in spite of the fact that we only constitute 13% of the general population. It's not working. It's not working. When you recognize that one thing they're doing, the leading cause of their death is homicide. They overly timing.
Esta conversación sobre si creen que él estaría actuando.
Wow. Well, I mean, actually, we can look at the trajectory. I'll probably be hit with it. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Niggas in Paris are trying to.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. And I think he's had an incredible run.
I mean, that's sophisticated. A lot of shit to me, at least.
You know what I'm saying? But I think the world and the universe and God shows you where your light can really shine. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I really feel. Like, there are folks that come to me, yo, man, yo, your studio videos, yo, you know, like we just did a tiny desk, you know what I'm saying? And the bottom line is, I feel like the gauntlet has been passed. You know what I'm saying? We passed the mantle on. Now I'm doing what no other producer could actually do. They can't do it.
All this stuff is going on, with Diddy, and she was allegedly his girlfriend. Did she talk to you about any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened. Sadly, I really
my soul made you want to share this information with the world. Because sometimes some people know these things and they'll take it to their grave.
I even understand how I sound like
If what you see has been celebrated, For a very long time, he's been also hated. That's just the truth. He's been hated and celebrated simultaneously since 1996. Over his career, right? The people who hate him, they only have, hearsay. They only have gossip. They only have conversations. They only have shared perspective. This is what they have. And sometimes when people believe something, they take it to be true. That's just it. Some people, if they believe it, if you tell them something they believe it, to them it's the truth. As much as he's been celebrated for a very long time, he's been also hated. That's just the truth. He's been hated and celebrated simultaneously since 1996. Over his career, right? The people who hate him, they only have those rumors. They only have hearsay. They only have gossip. They only have conversations. They only have, when we first started hearing about this, we heard underage girls were being killed. This is such a simple underage. Just come out and say that's the inevitable. I am not underage, no 37 years old. That's the they heard nothing about underage girls and sex. When we first started hearing about this, we heard underage girls being killed. The people who they tried to say were underage spoke out and said that's the inevitable. I am not underage, no 37 years old. That's the we heard nothing about underage girls and sex. When we first started hearing about this, we heard underage girls being killed. We followed when we first things were told somebody should be for what it is at that time. Exactly. Too many feelings and opinions and assumptions. Like, what he's doing now, he's the my son, people who are arguing, feel like they have something behind them to stand on. Because over the course of time, they have built a heritage of the things that they believe. So the more you hear, the things that you don't think, the more you're going to believe. So then the point is that and we work towards somebody should be